you.
The next speaker is Diane Zettel, and will Bob Bondi and Dennis Hainsworth please move to the front row?
Mr. Mayor and members of City Council, we've lived in Olivenhain for about 13 years, and a little over a year ago we became aware that our emergency response was woefully inadequate when the barn next door burned to the ground before fire crews even arrived, while neighbors repeatedly called 911 for almost 30 minutes begging for help. If there had been any wind that night at all, the risk that our home and neighbors' homes would have burned would have been great. Members of our community approached fire chief, members of city council, and city manager about the addition of a fire station. We have been told, and I will not mention any names because you know who you are, that if you are concerned about emergency response time, you should move. We've also had council members refuse to meet with us based on risk assessment that our safety does not justify an additional fire station. Yet we have money to build new parks and libraries. Don't get me wrong. I am a big proponent of parks and libraries. In the meantime, our city representatives have been busy massaging the emergency response time numbers to justify their case. You should be ashamed of yourselves. We want to work with you, not against you. How many tragedies have to happen before our safety is #1 priority? I believe that another group called Tokyo Electric Power Company did a similar type of risk assessment. We are not asking you to study another fire station or further manipulate the emergency response time data or reclassify as rural to justify your position. We are asking you to prioritize our safety first and add the fire station that the city quietly deleted from the plan a few years ago. Thank you.
Next speaker is Ginger Perkins.
Good evening. I was all prepared to speak to a compromise in lieu of an Olivenhain fire station, which was to open Mountain Vista through to Lone Jack, which would be well worth the $1 million. However, after meeting with city staff yesterday, I strongly request an Olivenhain fire station. Staff has very limited knowledge of Olivenhain. Staff has no interest in Olivenhain. Staff does little to include us in their decisions. As a result, staff has and is making terrible decisions regarding Olivenhain, including putting our lives at risk. A neighbor's house and several of our structures were burned in the Harmony Grove fire. My brother could have lost his life. There was no fire protection at the end of Lone Jack Road due to conditions fire officials believed were too hazardous. Is it safer today? Absolutely not. In fact, my neighbor has ignored all notices of hazardous conditions for almost 3 years. It is not because of Bob Scott, it is because of the follow-up group that we have hired. Del Mar has the same public concerns. The message is clear. Stay and fight for the fire yourself, because it's too dangerous for fire services to respond. How many insurance companies have denied you fire coverage? I am unable to get fire insurance except for the California Fair Plan, which is very minimal. You can ask Jerome and Chief Muir to explain. So after meeting with city staff and having attended Olivenhain Municipal Water District board meetings, where our fire chief Muir also wears the hat of treasurer on the board of directors, I realize we are not being well served, nor is there interest in serving the needs of those they promised to serve in Olivenhain. This is a matter of trust and public safety, and I thank those who have been involved in Olivenhain and trying to make it more safe. Please don't give up. We need a fire station. Please, City Council, hear us. Thank you.